Hello everybody. So today we're going to talk about adverbs of frequency. So adverbs of frequency tell us how often we do things or how often things happen. They can either describe definite frequency, daily, every, week, weekly, or annually, or indefinite frequency, like always, usually, and never. For example, I go swimming every week versus I never go swimming. Common adverbs of frequency include always, constantly, infrequently, generally, hardly ever, never, normally, occasionally, often, rarely, regularly, sometimes, and usually. So what are adverbs of frequency? We use adverbs of frequency to say how often we do things or how often things happen. These come in two types, definite versus indefinite. There are adverbs that describe definite frequency. We know exactly how often something happens, such as weekly, every week, daily, every day, or yearly, every year. For example, John plays tennis weekly, or I go to the shops every day. Then there are adverbs that describe indefinite frequency. They give us an idea about frequency, but they don't tell us the exact time frame, such as always, usually, occasionally, or never. For example, he usually sits at the front of the classroom, or I never listen to rock music. So to help us better understand the frequency associated with each adverb, it can be useful to place them on a percentage line, like you see here on the screen. For example, always would be 100% because it happens 100% of the time, and never would be 0%. It happens 0% of the time. The other adverbs of frequency would fall between these two positions. So how do we use adverbs of frequency? So word order can be tricky with adverbs. Where do adverbs of frequency go in the sentence? At the beginning or the end? Do they go before or after the verb? So let's look at some of the rules here. So most adverbs of frequency go in the middle of a sentence before the main verb. So you'd have the subject plus the adverb of frequency plus the main verb. An example would be, we usually go to the cinema on Saturdays. A basic statement would be, we go to the cinema on Saturdays. So if I want to let you know about the frequency, which is how often we do this, then I need to use an adverb. The main verb is go, so we put an adverb before this. Here are some more examples. So he wears a hat. If I want to let you know how often he wears the hat, then I need to use an adverb. The verb here is wear, so the adverb goes before it. He always wears a hat. Okay, another example, he's late. Again, if I want to tell you the frequency of his lateness, then I would need an adverb. Here the verb is late, so the adverb of frequency would go before it. He's always late. Okay, then we also have auxiliary verbs. So when there's an auxiliary verb, for example, have, will, shall, would, should, can, could, may, might, or must, followed by a main verb, then the adverb goes between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. So the rule is subject plus the auxiliary verb plus the adverb of frequency plus the main verb. So here are some examples. Positive. She must listen to her teacher. Must is the auxiliary verb and listen is the main verb. So we put the adverb of frequency in the middle. She must always listen to her teacher. It is the same rule as before. The adverb goes before the main verb. Negative. I didn't go to bed until it's dark. This time don't is the auxiliary verb, go is the main verb, and we put the adverb of frequency between them. I don't usually go to bed until it's dark. Okay, question form. Has Sarah lived in Amsterdam? As usual, the subject and auxiliary verb change places in question order. So the adverb of frequency goes between the auxiliary verb has and the main verb lived, and immediately after the subject, which is Sarah. Has Sarah always lived in Amsterdam? Okay, so now there's one exception, the verb to be. So when using an adverb with the verb to be, you need to be careful with the word order because the adverb of frequency comes after it, not before. So it'd be subject plus to be plus the adverb of frequency. Here are some examples. I am always tired after work. She is never. They are constantly. Beginning of a sentence. So some adverbs of frequency can go at the beginning of a sentence. The adverb of frequency plus the subject plus the main verb. The adverbs that can go at the beginning of a sentence are frequently, generally, normally, occasionally, sometimes, and usually. Notice how these words are followed by a comma written in English. So some examples would be, generally I go to the shops on Saturday morning before they get busy. You can also put the adverb before or between the subject and main verb. So I generally go. Occasionally we go to the restaurant for dinner, or we occasionally go. Normally I get the bus to work, or I normally get. So watch out for mistakes with always, hardly, ever, rarely, never, and seldom, because these adverbs cannot go at the beginning of a sentence in modern English. So rarely I work late is incorrect. Rarely needs to go before the main verb. I rarely work late. Correct. So exceptions can be found in older English and in literature. Seldom would he see her unaccompanied. Definite frequency. So adverbs of definite frequency such as hourly, daily, weekly, or once, twice, 3 times usually go at the end of a sentence. So I visit my parents weekly. She looks in the mirror every 5 minutes. They go on holiday twice a year. To give emphasis, adverbs of definite frequency can sometimes go at the beginning of a sentence. So every day, more than 5,000 people die in road accidents. Okay, well that's it for today. I hope you learned something about adverbs of frequency, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.